Nyanum Ghana from Michicha Muina ni Kusha the Criminal Economic and the Financial Division of the Accra High Court, Richard Jakpah at 247 cases and Semiani Guswa Ecoso. Now, Andra Accra High Court here cross examine Richard Jakpah. Now, Richard Jakpah, my yet says, 4 WhatsApp messages spent on a course between Ono and Attorney General Odame. And so, Attorney General Odame so say they are to court and him sitting and 4 WhatsApp messages minimum there 87 WhatsApp messages in Kwana Ekoso between Ono and Richard Odame. Now, in same way, of course, no more lawyers are moody as same way so object here, can send me brain as court and sitting the BDB Munjintum. It's in a next week here, court betender 87 WhatsApp messages Nina as evidence against Richard Jakpah. Now, Richard Jakpah, my court to Satya says, Intino. Government no in China, a Big Sea Company Limited at the delay direct. Sana ebibi etwem we na ma yeti asese ekoso. Nso si a Big Sea Company Limited leaders no aba bepiem wo Ghana ewia kitikiti a enye asem ketwa. Amu ina so sa somebody ready somebody cross examination concerning a case no koso na intro bia na se no krabia e won bia adai di pefe. Iti assembly na kunekuti sa ensem twem mbra medamase.
Everything to an end for the judge to now decide the merits and then pass judgments in the day that she will set?
No. So what is going to happen after Richard Jakpah? There is yet another person that will be cross-examined, and this is Big Sea, the Big Sea people. Okay. They are the main
company that was to supply
with the government of Ghana to supply the ambulance. Richard Jakpah is
their local
agent. So they will also be cross-examined, and so Richard Jakpah's cross-examination wouldn't end
the matter.
Trial.
Okay. Now, today, let's start from the onset. Before the court was called into section, we understand that the Deputy Attorney General had concerns with what he claims to be somebody who had recorded proceedings of last Thursday and was circulating the audio recording on WhatsApp. Tell us about it.
Yeah, correct. So this was when, after Richard Jakpah was made to mount the witness box to be cross-examined by the Director of Public Prosecution. And then Afetoy Abua rose and put before the trial judge that this is what he has found, that there's been a circulation of portion of Thursday's proceedings in court, which is being circulated on some
audio,
which is being circulated on some WhatsApp platforms. And so he wanted the trial judge to take cognizance of that and then take the necessary action, if you like. Then she found it very problematic because she said it's prohibited for anyone to record the proceedings in court. In fact, the journalists who sit through proceedings have been told that it is not allowed, it is prohibited to record proceedings in court. So she found it to be problematic. Quickly, she called the leadership, and I'm talking about the lead counsel for Keselato Forcing, lead counsel for Richard Jakpah, and the prosecution into a conclave. And it took a little longer than we expected. We thought it was going to be like some 10 minutes meeting, but then it went on for like 20 minutes. Now, when they came back, the trial judge issued a warning and asked that national security should take up the issue, investigate and get to the bottom of whoever recorded that proceedings. And once investigations is done, we know the outcome of it. It means if you are
obviously you'll be in contempt of court.
Exactly. You are going to be dealt with. She said if it continues again, she will be forced to take additional stringent measures, which would be that the rest of the proceedings or the trial will be held in camera.
Meaning only the lawyers and their clients will be in court.
Will be in court to, if it continues. But now she has asked national security to take up any.
But did the Deputy Attorney General provide any name as to the one behind the circulation of this audio recording of the court proceedings on Thursday?
For those of us who sat in open court, who didn't join the conclave, we were unable to tell whether or not at that meeting in chambers, the Deputy AG mentioned names or not. We do not know. All we know is that they went in there to verify the claim that had been made by the Deputy Attorney General, after which the judge issued this directive for national security to investigate and also issue the warning that if it continues, she will be left with no option than to, hold the rest of the proceedings in camera.
And then before the cross-examination started, the Attorney General himself, Godfred Yeboah-Dame, walked into the court.
Yeah. So
but he didn't do the cross-examination.
Yes, he didn't do the cross-examination. For the last two sittings, if I'm right, he didn't show up in court. And so there was this rumor that, okay, he has now taken the advice of this trial judge. Today, he showed up, took his seat, but then he didn't do the cross-examination, even though he was conferring with the Deputy Attorney General, whilst the Director of Public Prosecution was on her feet questioning Richard Japkah. He didn't directly cross-examine, the third accused.
So now, let's get to the meat of the matter. The first issues that came up, one of them had to do with whether Japkah was sacked from the Ghana Armed Forces and whether he failed his promotion exams.
Correct. So this question, you see the question he just asked?
And a yes or no answer that was required.
Yes or no answer. It took 4 pages. And I think it went even beyond 4 pages. Answer by Richard Japkah. So that was the question. Mr. Japkah, you failed your promotion exams in 2000. I don't recall the exact year. I think it was 2000 or so. Then Richard Japkah said that will be inaccurate. And then he went on and on with explanation. So let me just run us through a bit of the explanation that he came up with. He mentioned to the court that he was commissioned into the Ghana Armed Forces in 1998 as a regular career corps intake 38 and was not dismissed but was released honorably. Those were his words. He was released honorably by the Ghana Armed Forces. So he went back to when Addo was then Minister of
Defense. And this will be President Kufuor's era.
And that the minister had visited Sunyani, where he was in charge of a whole unit. A unit Richard Japkah claims could only be headed by a major, someone who has the rank of a major in the Ghana Army. He wasn't a major, but he was heading that unit.
So, he was heading the 3BN as a commanding officer?
A unit that's supposed to be headed by a major.
Not a unit, it's actually a whole 3BN is the 3 Infantry Battalion based in Sunyani.
Yeah.
Yes.
He made this case and many other cases to suggest to the prosecution that he is not that dumb to fail an exams organized by the Ghana Armed Forces. He quoted some exams he passed with a university in Pennsylvania and other foreign universities. He said he wrote 25 exams in 2 years and got over 97% in total.
But the question was whether he failed the promotion exams at the Ghana Armed Forces.
Then he makes the case that he was victimized because he's carrying the baggage of his father.
Who is his father?
He says his father was part of the cadres who got former President Jerry John Rawlings from prison during the revolution. And so...
That is when the late former President Rawlings was arrested after staging a coup d'etat.
Exactly. That his father was the secretary of a unit, which for him was like the administrative body of the cadres. And so they led to the, release of former President Rawlings from prison. And so all the senior military officers who knew his father knew him. And so when he got into the army, he didn't get favors from any of the senior military officers who started victimizing him right from day one when he got into the army. He went on to say that he was the best marksman of his intake, the unit. He was the best marksman. It means he was the one who was on top when it comes to weapons handling and all of that. And so when President Jerry John Rawlings came to commission the unit, he instructed that he, Richard Japkah, be sent to the Gonda barracks and not to